Well, yesterday was a very hot day with temperatures in the mid to upper 90s for most, upper 80s in north central Kansas, and reaching 100 degrees in Emporia. This is the hottest temperature that we'll have, well, at least if you were in the mid 90s to near 100. That's the hottest we'll be for at least 9-10 days. It may not be until next weekend where we get back into the mid 90s at minimum. So we're going to be near seasonal, if not slightly below average, for at least a week. Yesterday, we also had some rainfall across the area. It wasn't a whole lot, at least at the airports, but certainly getting more rain across the area. And for most areas, with the exception of just south of I-35 around the Burlington area, southern portion of Coffee County, everyone has had at least a quarter-inch worth of rainfall so far this week. We'll see if we can add on to those areas in southern Coffee County later on today with the rain and even into tonight. But we'll be certainly keeping an eye on a couple more opportunities for rain over the next 2 days through tomorrow, the 4th of July. Meanwhile, today, upper 70s and low 80s across the area. There may be a few spots in the mid 80s, and we may be able to sneak in a little bit of sun this morning, but more clouds and rain move back in by this afternoon. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Severe weather outlook for the next 3 days. We're looking at tomorrow, especially along and south of the Turnpike, being the highest probability of severe weather, but the highest probability of more scattered or widespread rain will be tonight. May not necessarily be a high risk for severe weather other than the potential flood threat, but as far as the hail, wind, and maybe even an isolated tornado threat, we are still monitoring that and that slight risk for tomorrow. Friday, I'm not quite sure what the SPC is doing. They may fine-tune that a little bit more. I don't see anything going on Friday or Friday night. If we're going to get anything, I put it isolated overnight because I just don't see anything during the day Friday. I don't see any thunderstorm risk, but they have that and pushing into Highway 36, maybe a few storms Friday night in Nebraska that may clip Highway 36. I personally don't see that happening, so I think that Friday will be dry. And I just want to put that in there just because the thunderstorm icons are there. All right, so for today, as I mentioned, we will be dry for the morning. We may get a little bit of rain starting to move in late in the morning hours, according to this computer model. Now, keep this in mind because I'm going to show you another computer model. I'm not completely buying this scenario here, at least for today, but it is a scenario that we'll be keeping a close eye on. Otherwise, we will continue with on and off showers and a few thunderstorms all the way through tomorrow. You can see a pretty decent chance of some moderate to heavy rainfall in the morning hours for your 4th of July, and then drying out with most of the storm activity moving into Missouri by midday, and then we might get some ice activity redeveloping probably just to the south of our viewing area by 7 o'clock. But you'll notice that most spots are completely dry as we get into the 9-10 o'clock hour, which would be good for those firework festivities after dark. May not be so good during the daytime hours while you're waiting for those fireworks to be put out after sunset, but it'll be something that we'll be keeping an eye on. Meanwhile, the rainfall from that computer model that you just saw, generally about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch for most areas. Taking a look at our other computer model, and I'm leaning more towards this one, showing dry conditions through noon, still mostly cloudy though, and then a few isolated showers and thunderstorms, mainly south of I-70. Could have some heavy rainfall with this activity. Not expecting any strong to severe weather, but we'll keep an eye on that. And then we'll continue with an opportunity for tonight as another round pushes through. Once we get into tomorrow though, this model has us completely dry in the morning, unlike that other computer model that I showed you, and an opportunity for a few isolated showers to develop from Hiawatha down through around the Topeka area to Emporia around 3 o'clock, but pushing out of the area just in time for 8-9 o'clock, just in time for those fireworks shows to be going off and starting once the sun goes down with dry conditions. So confidence is high that I think we will be dry by the time the fireworks start. What's going to happen during the daytime hours tomorrow, that's a little bit more uncertain. We can see the differences in the computer model. The one that I just showed you was the graph model, so you can see the very heavy rainfall for our southeastern communities. That's not the area we want to see getting the heavy rainfall at all. And you can see some of the other computer models not quite as heavy with the rain. So we'll keep an eye on it. Regardless, don't cancel outdoor plans. But just know that you may have a shower thunderstorm pass you that you may need to take shelter, whether it's just a lightning that's the hazard or there is a severe storm pushing through the area. but you don't need to cancel any outdoor plans. Have a shelter. Know where your shelter is if you're not in your known area. Kind of look for a shelter. If you're going to be out at a friend's house or the lake or something like that, just be aware that you may have to quickly take shelter. That's the only downside to these next 2 days, but specifically tomorrow. Otherwise, I don't think we'll have any problems Friday, and most of Saturday should be okay too. Saturday night through Sunday night, then we'll have a couple more opportunities to showers and thunderstorms pushing through as we get towards the end of the holiday weekend. Temperatures generally in the 80s. We may be able to sneak in some low 90s on Saturday in a few spots, but I think we stay pretty comfortable as we head into really the next 8 days, warming up a little bit as we get towards the first half of next work week with dry conditions. And humidity-wise, if you're wondering about that, we do have fairly high humidity today and tomorrow, especially for the first part of the day, but then decreasing late in the day into tomorrow night with a lower humidity for Friday. That's why it's going to be a really nice day to enjoy. Really the only downside with wind gusts near 20-25 miles per hour Friday. Other than that, lots of sunshine, 80s for highs. You couldn't ask for a better day. And then it comes up just a little bit at times on Saturday before coming down on Sunday with that opportunity for rain in the area. And a quick check of our extended outlooks. There's that blue showing up in the 6 to 10 day outlook. No surprise there with the below average temperatures that we're going to see, but it does start to warm up, as I mentioned, for the potential for warmer temperatures as we get towards next weekend. We may continue to stay on the cooler side for Thursday and Friday, but as we get towards the Saturday, Sunday time period, that would be days 11 and 12. That's when we could start to get that heat returning to the area. But all in all, for the next 8 days, nothing like what we had yesterday. And again, we'll continue to keep an eye on those rain chances and storm chances for the next 2 days. And then again, as we get towards the end of the holiday weekend. In the meantime, have a great day, stay safe, and keep an eye on the forecast as we'll continue to keep you updated.